If you are not yet a member of the Patreon, link is in the description. Please consider becoming a member, as you will have access to many videos you cannot find here on YouTube.
Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.
Over the past few decades, OnlyFans and pornography has become an increasingly more popular but also bigger issue than people realize. In fact, some studies show that it has directly contributed to and resulted in the continued downfall of modern dating, social interactions, and relational expectations between men and women, and of course, the performance of young men in the bedroom. But it's even worse than you think. Because once we delve into the history, true purpose, and normalization of these degenerate platforms, you too will understand how this was all by design. Welcome back to another episode of Didi Got a Podcast. And of course, I'm your host, Didi. I appreciate you all for tuning in. As always, please hit the like button on your way in. If you would like to support the work in any other way, one way that you can support the work is checking out our merch. We are currently running a flash sale, and some things are as much as 30% off. There's many different designs and different types of merchandise that you can choose to select from. So please check out the website when you get a chance. Link is in the description. So what's going on with dating in 2026? Not something that we've discussed nearly enough on this channel, but we are long overdue. It seems like more people than ever are single. More people are frustrated with dating. Marriage rates have declined compared to previous generations, and many young men and women say they're struggling to find meaningful relationships. In fact, the statistics actually support this theory. In 1920, the median age at first marriage in the US was about 24 for men and 21 for women. Today, it's around 30 for men and 28 for women. In 1920, only about 1/3 of US adults were unmarried. Today, roughly half of the entire US adult population are unmarried. And recent surveys suggest that roughly 25 to 35% of US adults are neither married nor living with a romantic partner, and younger adults report being single at particularly higher rates. So the question is why? Once again, today I would like to discuss something that hasn't been discussed nearly enough on this channel, and that is the rise of online pornography and OnlyFans. For most of human history, access to sexual content was limited. In fact, at one point in time, it was not only frowned upon, but it was also illegal. Today, millions of people can access an endless supply of explicit content with a few taps on their phone, while others can pay for personalized interactions that previous generations could never have imagined. Has this changed how people view relationships? Has it altered expectations about intimacy, attraction, and commitment? Has it made real-world dating harder by providing a digital alternative to forming genuine connections? Or are pornography and OnlyFans simply symptoms of deeper cultural changes already taking place? And just for the record, I'm not claiming, and I would never claim, that OnlyFans or pornography is the only reason why dating has become more difficult in 2026. There are many different factors, from social media and dating apps to economic pressures and shifting cultural values, and the list goes on. But when we compare dating today and what it looked like decades ago, it's worth asking whether the explosion of digital content has played a bigger role than many people are willing to admit. Let's look at some mind-boggling statistics. Did you know that OnlyFans has paid creators over $25 billion since 2016? Or that by the end of 2024, OnlyFans reported approximately 377.5 million users and about 4.6 million creators. That's more users than the entire population of the United States. And the surprising reality, however, is that despite these numbers, the truth is that even though we hear about these stories of creators earning millions of dollars, estimates cited by industry specialists or experts place average earnings at about $131 to $180 per month. So in other words, the average creator is not making any money from OnlyFans. Only the top 0.1% of creators receive roughly 76% of platform income, while the overwhelming majority earn relatively little. Yet this is still an issue, and here's why. It is setting a standard for what's cool, what's trendy, and completely redefining what it means to have a sense of standard or pride in this country. It is the equivalent to a gateway drug that just leads to bigger and more grotesque outcomes. Not to mention that once you have decided to enter that world as a creator, the likelihood of you working a regular job ever again becomes very difficult and or just weird. The music promotes strip club culture, the oversexualization of women, and exploiting or finessing desperate men out of their money for false expectations. It's so bad that you have rappers like Gucci Mane, 2 Chainz, and many more admitting to going to strip clubs with their own wives. Let that sink in. Let's take a young lady by the name of Alice Rosenblum, for example. And for those of you that don't know, Alice Rosenblum is a social media influencer and content creator who gained a large following on Instagram, TikTok, and later OnlyFans. She also received media attention for filing a lawsuit against the creator platform Passes, alleging she was encouraged to create explicit content while she was underage. And while it is difficult to pin down the exact numbers, on the low end, it is estimated that she makes just under $100,000 annually from Instagram alone, plus well over $1 million on OnlyFans. And again, it's very difficult to understand what's accurate with these numbers or not, because OnlyFans and their information is super private, especially what these creators are making. And not to mention that some people can lie about it. But what I can say as a content creator myself, even though it's primarily on YouTube, a lot of times these websites lowball you. So whatever numbers they put out there, you typically make more money or you typically have more followers than what they are stating on their website. So I have reason to believe that this woman is probably making more money than they're listing. Again, not to mention that some people can lie. And specifically with OnlyFans models, particularly the female ones, because it's predominantly females that dominate the space for obvious reasons, if they were to lie, depending on how they're lying, whether it be about their age, how much money that they're making, that actually can help their brand, because it creates this illusion that there's this huge demand for people to see her, which makes more people curious what all the fuss is about, right? And there's somebody that we're going to discuss later in this episode that literally fits that description. But before we get to that person, there's something else I want to talk about. There was an interaction between Alice Rosenblum and her top spender, who is a young man who claims to be a day trader, who seemingly makes quite a bit of money and has willingly and happily spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to simply watch her explicit content and wanted to talk with her, despite him knowing that the person that he's communicating with on the OnlyFans site is actually not Alice in real life. Instead, it's robots and foreign men chatting with him online, cosplaying as Alice. He doesn't care. He admits to pleasing himself almost every day, 2 to 3 times a day, while fantasizing about being with her. He also admitted to having very little contact with other humans most days while isolating himself in the house. While he doesn't consider himself a quote-unquote incel, by definition, he probably is. Meanwhile, Alice, she was clearly disgusted by this guy. She didn't respect him. She wouldn't give him a hug when he asked, barely made eye contact, admits to being freaked out by him, despite subjecting herself in vulnerable circumstances online to these strangers. And the saddest part is that the guy didn't even seem to care at all and was just honored to have met her in person.
Hi.
It's nice to finally meet you. So what kind of things are you into?
I don't really want to talk to you after you said that. That was so mean.
But he gets a pass. Like, he's giving you like millions, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Anything you want to say about yourself?
Because I'm scared.
Motherfucker, I'm scared.
Nice to finally meet you. Are you guys dead ass right now? I'm like, I don't know.
No, like, it's literally dead ass. Like, it's not even a troll.
Oh.
Like, most of them are like the scripted fake podcast, but this motherfucker is like actually your top spender.
So I want to know, what do you bring to the table dating-wise?
Wait, I'm sorry, guys. I can't focus. I don't know. Like, whatever we talked about.
All right.
Yeah, what we talked about.
How many wanks have you had to Alice, would you say?
About 1,000.
1,000. So, okay. So how many wanks a day is that?
About like 2-3 times a day.
Okay. Wow. Impressive. Quite impressive. So, do you have any questions for him?
I don't know. Can somebody else ask the questions?
So can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How far do you squirt?
I don't really know the answer to that.
Does it leave a vein bow after you squirt?
What?
Does it leave a vein bow after you squirt?
I don't really understand. Do you understand what I don't understand
Does
that.
it leave a rainbow after you squirt?
Sure.
When's the last time you had a interaction with another human?
Probably when I was out there.
When you were out there? Okay. But like previous to like today, like
Been about months.
months? And what was the one
What
a
do
few months
you
ago?
do for a living?
I'm a day trader, so I invest in stocks.
Oh.
Okay. Would you say gooning is a W or an L?
In my books, it is.
It's a W?
Yeah, I think Alice will also agree.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's literally what's bankrolling her. So, is the whole industry of gooning.
Yeah.
But are you worried about, like, erectile dysfunction, or changes to your dopamine system?
Hasn't been a problem for me yet, and I've been doing it for around 10 years.
Hasn't been a problem yet?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll have to come back in 5 years and see if that's still. Do you have to use any performance enhancers like Cialis?
No, I just do a dry rub.
You're dry rubbing for 10 years straight 3 times a day and you don't have ED?
Yep.
I used to think that these numbers weren't real. Like, there's no way that there's somebody out there, a single individual, giving you hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's nobody that can afford to do it. And even if there were, or the people that are or can afford to do it, most times they've probably worked too hard for their money to just give it all away to give very little in return. I was wrong. And clearly I was wrong here. But it gets worse because there's another popular fans model by the name of Sophie Raines who has been exposed, for lying about so many things several times. She's claimed to being a virgin, which is super unique to her strategy to increasing her quote unquote value and making more money, but nobody really believes her. And for good reason. She's claimed to an NBA player that she won't name offering her $15 million to take her V card, if you catch my drift.
Ask you, I know you recently posted that someone offered you $15 million, to take your rich.
Yes.
Am I able to ask you who was that athlete?
I can't say.
Can't tell us anything. Can you give us a hint?
I can say that he is on a basketball team.
Basketball team,
Yes.
But you can't tell us what team.
No, I don't want to ruin anyone's career. because
Okay.
of that.
Can I ask what was your exact response? Did you respond to it? To the
I
message?
just said no.
No.
I
That
said
was
no.
it.
Definitely
Did
not
he
gonna
did
do
he
that.
push after that, or what? Did he kind of just leave it alone?
I think I got ghosted after that.
A lot of people were, kind of putting in the responses, the little cap emoji. They were saying that you were capping.
No.
Were you capping? This 100% happened.
This 100% happened.
Uh-huh.
I don't lie about anything. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. I don't believe it happened, so it is kind of crazy, but it's real.
Do you get offers like this often? Was this the first time? Was it kind of shocking to you?
It's happened before.
Okay, so it wasn't shocking to you.
No, not at all.
Okay.
And she was also caught lying about how much she's made on OnlyFans. She was caught lying about her name, her age, and the list goes on.
Wait, how old are you actually?
I'm actually 21.
But on the Nelk podcast, you said you were 23.
Yeah, I'm 23. I'm 23. But it's for safety reasons, okay? It's for safety reasons. That is the only reason why I lie about my age. It's not for any other reason. When I started my account, I obviously had help. I didn't want to start my account without not knowing anything. And the number one thing that everyone around me told me was, don't put out any of your real information.
Okay.
So I lied about everything.
Okay.
Smart.
Okay.
My name's not actually Sophie. It's just my stage name. But it's for safety reasons. And I love being Sophie Rain.
Hey Piper, I know you're following the footsteps of your homegirl Sophie Rain, faking statements and whatnot, but unfortunately for you, her Photoshop was just a little bit better. If you look right here at the end of the messages revenue, you left the $sign at the end. I know, it's a rookie mistake, but you know what? I think you should ask her to help you next time since she has a lot of experience in doing shit like this. Good luck, you two.
But why am I mentioning her? Well, because this is the result of what normalizing these things has created. A predatory, manipulative, and evil industry from all sides. Even the creators know that they are placing themselves in a position that could be dangerous, but also to exploit men. And they don't even have to care about it, even if it means lying in the process. Like, who would lie about their age to the point where they're pushing themselves just above teenage years because they know it would be more attractive to a certain group of people, even if it comes off as creepy? That's pedophile culture, and she doesn't even care. But it makes sense because years ago, I made a video on Patreon called The Open Secret about gender ideology. And in that short documentary, we spoke about a gentleman by the name of Alfred Kinsley. And Alfred Kinsey, for those of you that don't know, was an American biologist and sex researcher whose studies, published as the Kinsey Reports in 1948 and 1953, these reports were pretty much the starting force that ignited the adult content entertainment industry as we know it today. And this is because the reports challenged many assumptions about sexual behavior in the United States amongst human beings. His research suggested that behaviors such as premarital sex, homosexuality, and other sexual practices were far more common than many people believed at the time. The reports helped spark a broader public discussion about sexuality and are often viewed as an early influence on the sexual revolution of the 1960s. Hugh Hefner, founder of Playboy, obviously, cited Kinsey's work as influential in shaping his views on sexuality and personal freedom. And his influence on the adult entertainment industry is more widely recognized, as his findings helped normalize public discussion of sexual topics that had previously been considered taboo and inappropriate.
Dr. Reisman is recognized as an expert witness exposing the industry's hidden agenda.
Playboy
Magazine.
sued you, or you sued Playboy?
No, Playboy sued me for libel and slander.
And what happened?
I won.
She's fought the pornography industry for decades and even won a lawsuit against Playboy.
So how did we get here to where we're at today? Because I don't think pornography has always been such an epidemic cancer within our society like it is today.
No, not at all. We were, up to the end of the Second World War, a conservative Judeo-Christian nation. The turning point for all that was Dr. Alfred Kinsey, his book, Behavior in the Human Male, 1948. He was the father of the sexual revolution, and therefore the father of everything that has come from that. And certainly one of the key things was pornography.
Dr. Alfred Kinsey ushered the destruction of our nation's moral code with his books, Behavior in the Human Male and Behavior in the Human Female, known as the Kinsey Reports. The world recognized him as the leading scientific expert on human sexuality. The reports claim that humans were from birth, and that what we deemed as immoral sexual behavior was actually normal, thus making it moral.
And it should also be mentioned, because it's probably not a coincidence to know, that Kinsley was also very associated with Aleister Crowley. For those of you that don't know, Aleister Crowley was an English occultist writer and founder of the religious philosophical movement Thelema that we've widely discussed on this channel over the years, who became one of the most influential and controversial figures in modern Western esotericism during the early 20th century. This will be important later, because it will quickly be discovered that Kinsey's research relied on non-random samples and included disproportionately high numbers of prison inmates, PDF files, and other groups that may not have reflected the broader American population. And some scholars have also questioned whether his findings overstated the prevalence of certain sexual behaviors. That is to say, he generally did not interview regular everyday people, so he lied. It is also important to note that when OnlyFans was launched in 2016 by Tim Stokely, a British entrepreneur from England, the idea was not officially to create a pornography website. It was marketed as a subscription platform where creators could directly monetize content and interact with fans. The target audience included musicians, fitness coaches, influencers, chefs, and entertainers, not just adult creators. The turning point came when a Jewish man by the name of Leonid Radvinsky acquired a majority stake in OnlyFans' parent company in 2018 and is now widely considered as the platform's owner. He had previous experience in the adult content industry through MyFreeCams. Many observers argue that under Radvinsky's ownership, OnlyFans transformed from a general creator platform into what most people now recognize as an adult content subscription empire full of degeneracy. The company grew from a relatively small platform into one with hundreds of millions of users and millions of creators. As I stated many years ago in the video titled The Open Secret About Gender Ideology, I believe that Alfred Kinsey was used, and his purpose was to sort of ignite the quote-unquote research that would be able to back the quote-unquote transgender movement. This is not to say that people who are transgender, or a better way to say it is people who struggle with gender dysphoria. This is not to say that they've never existed. I believe they've always been around. However, I believe that Alfred Kinsey's research was supposed to be sort of the foundation that would catapult this movement many years later in the 21st century, where we are having silly discussions about the differences between men and women. We're having silly discussions about if transgender women should be able to compete against biological women, something that we never even debated before, because everybody knows that that's off limits. Why was this normalized and why was this pushed so much in pop culture, in politics over the past 6, 7, 8 years? What changed? And I don't believe it's a coincidence that following this, that being Kenzie's reports, you got people like Hugh Hefner, who was popularized in the media, because I believe all of that stuff is by design. It's the same thing you see today. You take a lot of these raunchy female creators, but also you take the male musicians as well who glorify strip club culture. You take influencers who glorify strip club culture. Nobody talks down on it. Nobody encourages you not to do it. The biggest female musicians and celebrities in the world are all overly sexualized, and many of them, as we've exposed many times on this channel, follows to Aleister Crowley. A lot of these people are cultists, including P. Diddy. So instead of shaming these people for pushing degeneracy in their music, their movies, their interviews, they glorify these people. They promote these people. So now it's a lot more acceptable to create an OnlyFans account because you're seeing it accepted, widely accepted in society. I always wondered as a kid, how can Hugh Hefner have all these women in this Playboy mansion and nobody sees this as weird because he's a man? Is that not degenerate? Is that not weird, odd, unusual? And why is it him? You think he's the first man that's ever wanted to do something like that? What made him special? Because he was connected with the right people. I believe all of these people are industry plants or plants, which reminds me of something. I'm going to end the video with this. I was watching the Pop the Balloon show, the viral show that everybody watches, gets millions of views. I was watching it the other day, and there was a line of men, and a woman comes out from the back, gets the microphone, and one of the questions she asked I thought was a very unique question I don't believe I had ever heard before. She asked the line of gentlemen, when's the last time a woman or a female did something that did or said something that impressed you? And if so, what was it? And you get a lot of the usual, expected answers. Oh, my ex did such and such, or I took this girl on a date one time and I thought it was very unique or very dope that she did such and such, or I was in the grocery store and this woman did this for me. One gentleman on the line who up until that point had seemed like one of the better gentlemen on the line, that is to say the way he dressed, presented himself, he actually looked like he would make a great couple with the girl, but you can't judge people by their outer appearance. This guy decided for whatever reason in the world to say that the last time a female or a woman impressed him was when Young Miami made the song Spin That. I thought, and I almost knew for certain, especially based on his previous statements, that this guy was trolling and he was going to quickly correct himself. Except he never corrected himself. He was very serious.
All right, your name and age, and when's the last time you were impressed by a woman?
My name is Jalen, and I'm 34. And the last time I got impressed by a woman was when Young Miami made that song Spin That. That's the last time I got impressed by a woman. That's a great song.
Okay.
As soon as the woman was able to do so, she immediately popped his balloon. He was like, you don't like that song?
Okay. So why was your balloon unpopped?
I just wanted to hear her out. I think she looks beautiful.
Thank you. Okay. And so why'd you end up popping his balloon?
The Young Miami comment. Not a fan. I don't think there's any substance to Young Miami. I think when I talk about like bad physical and spiritual hygiene, I think the things that you take in is very important, and listening to her is not healthy.
You don't like that song?
I do not.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anything of that caliber, I'm not necessarily a fan of. I don't see the point. Sorry.
Okay.
Goes to say, later in that episode, this same guy popped another woman's balloon because she had a tattoo on her thigh. I don't believe in tatting your body. That's just my personal opinion. But the reason was so crazy. He popped her a little small tattoo because it said, love yours. He said, what's the meaning of that? She goes, I'm on some J. Cole type of vibes. He said, what does that mean? She said, I just think that it means to love yourself, put yourself first, make sure you take care of yourself. Don't believe that other people's lives are better than yours. Value who you are as a person. He said, yeah, I don't think there's a lot of substance behind that. I'm not a big fan of it because that's a lifetime decision to tattoo that on your thigh. And I don't think that was a good reason to do it.
Gentlemen, any questions for her? You ready?
Yeah. What does that tattoo on your thigh say?
Love yours. J. Cole vibes.
Love yours. I don't like.
That's corny.
Yeah. that's on you for life. You know, I think you should have something more meaningful. Yeah.
Okay. I could respect it.
So you got it simply just because of J. Cole?
No,
Or?
no. That's not why, but
Oh,
it was
that's
a
what I
reference.
thought it was like.
No, not simply because of J. Cole. It was just a reference.
Okay. But that's on you for life, though.
Yeah.
I don't.
I get it.
So if there was more meaning behind it, would that change
It would. Well, the placement. I personally don't like the placement, but at the same time, I wanted to see what it said because I couldn't really see it from this angle. But yeah, I don't really like. That's a life choice. Yeah.
Bro, what? But like what? Bro, what? For those of you that have never heard this song, I just want to put it on the screen just for the beginning. She starts off the song with saying, "Where's all my scamming N-words at?" She's looking for guys who participate in scamming, which is criminal behavior, which is not to be commended. You can do a lot of prison time for this. But no, this is what she's glorifying in her music, and they're pushing this song to the masses. 20s, 50s, 100s cash. Boy, go in that go yard bad. Boosting bees, where y'all at? Stuffing that stuff in y'all bag. Just flip it, pop some tags. Girl, go in that go yard bag. Encouraging people to live criminal lifestyle. How is it not obvious that these people are industry plants? Who thinks of this and chooses to openly talk about this in their music without feeling shame? Then she's on stage half naked. Almost every time you see her, she's half naked. We know what the playbook is. This is the playbook. They literally have a list of things these women have to do in order to be in the spotlight. It's clearly forced. No one thinks of this. And every time the public sees you, you're half naked. No. Anyways, I'm digressing, but this is my point. This is the culture. This is the society. This is what has been normalized intentionally to ruin relationships between men and women, to ruin society, to ruin our brain, because this is the same thing as being addicted to drugs. Being addicted to this is no different. I've talked about this on the channel before. I was addicted to this when I was like 14 up until like the age of 17 or 18. And by the grace of God, I broke away from it because that leads to ED if you follow me in the bedroom, and because your expectations, you're so desensitized to seeing it so much that what a real woman looks like in real life and what real interactions with women in the bedroom and out in public is like becomes super distorted. And in your mind, you think that it should only behave the way that these, in some cases, professionals are doing it on videos. It's a degeneracy. It's lunacy. It's weird. Y'all up in the comment section, though, and give me your thoughts on what you think, man. I'm Demetrius. I go by Didi. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.
Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.